So transcending the spiritual ego, I think anybody that's kind of been on a spiritual path and was honest on it, you're gonna come across the spiritual ego, right? And that spiritual ego is you kind of get big headed because you're getting some aspect of like occult knowledge, or you're getting spiritual information and wisdom, and they start going to your head, and you kind of like start wearing like it's a badge of honor. And the thing about it is you're getting this information, but you're not using it more times often than not. Like me, to a certain extent, when I was kind of going through that phase, I had the information, I had all these books. I felt good about myself, and in actuality, I was getting nowhere. I was getting no progress done. I wasn't challenging myself in any way, and I was kind of like stiffing my nose up at people that was just finding this type of information, right? And that's probably the reason why, if I'm being honest, I'm not farther in my own development, because I was kind of stuck in that spiritual ego. And if I could be honest, it's kind of, that was with semen retention, partially with semen retention, but also just me becoming spiritual at the same, well, literally right before the trend of spirituality happened. So I'm becoming more spiritual, and then the trend of spirituality happened, TikTok happened, everybody dropping videos, and I'm like, damn. So, and as the ego is developing more and more inside of me, the spiritual aspect, I am like consuming this spiritual content, and it's all just love and light shit, or is it just entertainment? It's entertainment shit, and it's like, it's not telling me anything that's going, it's not being realistic with me. It's almost like pushing it like it's another religion, and I'm like, and like me personally, I don't got nothing wrong with religion. It's just I don't like how it's structured personally, and I think it don't put the power inside of you, right? And I think that's kind of the main problem, in my opinion. But yeah, I was so consumed with the entertainment aspect of it. I was so consumed with just the delusion, the extreme delusion of it. And I guess when I started to take it more serious and how like hard it is, it's almost like you be going through a constant death and rebirth, right? And take something, for example, like spirituality. If you have expectations, your expectations will always, you always be disappointed by the expectations. But let's say you reach something and it's like you're putting a limit on yourself. Take, for example, like enlightenment, right? I think I said I was enlightened like one time, and this is like me early on. I'm like, and when you start to grow, when you start to experience pain, that pain start to bring more wisdom, and like you're like, damn, I was just silly as hell. And then also you realize when you try to label yourself as certain things, it's like it's automatically proven that you're not whatever you label yourself to be. And I was just realizing that, and I'm like, damn, I'm really a fraud. And that's one thing I hate above anything, is being labeled as a fraud. And it wasn't that other people were seeing me as a fraud, it was myself. Like I was looking in the mirror, I'm like, and I'm just in there, just had a moment of like just pure awareness when I'm just noticing like what I was doing. And I'm like, damn, this nigga is a fraud. And I'm like, I gotta fix that. So me now, I try to kind of hold back that I'm spiritual at all. Like I don't, even though people may look at the tattoos and see it, but I don't try to speak it out my mouth. I'm not the type to be talking all spiritual. If I ain't gonna, some of these tattoos, I wish I would hit them like on my body, like under my clothes, so nobody can see them. Only because I like when people don't really know what I'm about, and like like me, people know me in real life. I'm a goofball. I like joking around. I like laughing. I like playing. But when people really like see what I do outside of work, and even like let's say I'm talking to a customer or anything, they surprised. Like when I tell people what I do, they surprised, because I don't, maybe because my personality, I really don't seem like that, but I'm really like a goofy. I'm usually like a high-spirited person, just playing around, just laughing all the time. I'm really a trickster. But yeah, transcending the spiritual ego, a lot of that is going to come with just being aware of yourself, right? Getting deeper into meditation, just being able to watch yourself and watch your actions and your behaviors, even like your thoughts, right? Because one thing that's crazy is that you will start to lie to yourself. You will be in like a state of delusion, and you would think that you legit better than somebody else because you are spiritual, and that's not really, it's not doing you any good, right? And essentially, if I'm being honest, if you can look at it from a neutral standpoint, you in the same position as they are. So it's counterproductive for your own progress as an individual and as a spiritual being. So first thing first, you got to get that awareness. You got to get them, them spiritual muscles strong. But you got to do it through meditating or just being mindful and just looking at yourself from a neutral standpoint and just noticing your behaviors, right? And like I said, it's not going to be easy. It's going to take some time for you to learn how to do it. But, And also you got to get some of that trauma out of you. You know, that trauma and these old habits, you got to get that out of you, because you know that old trauma and the old habits and even some of those beliefs are kind of feeding that ego. Like if you came from people talking down on you versus then let's say you come into a certain point in time where people are trying to uplift you and then telling you that you God, and they not being responsible with telling you about how you are God, you will get extremely big headed. I never was that way, but I see people all on the internet get big headed about, you know, being God and shit like that, but they don't, like, they life is not in order. And that's what my favorite teacher, Brother Yosef, be speaking about. People want to claim they gods, but it's like their life is not in order. I believe I'm an aspect of God, but you know, I'm trying to step more into that God like energy, but you know, I'm still on my way. But some people want to act like they are God, but their life is fucked up, and I don't get it, right? It's almost like being called king. I hate being called king. Like, I ain't gonna lie, that shit pisses me off to the max. And people at work know this. So, yeah, just be aware, be conscious of what you are doing and how you interacting with the outside world, and even just internally with yourself. So, that's how to transcend the spiritual ego.